Hey guys, welcome to the spoiler section. So let's start right away with the most ridiculous fucking thing, Modoc. Modoc
The fuck was
is
that?
the worst CGI effect I have ever seen. This big head, and yes, okay, the very first comment we're gonna get, and I even see people defending the memes. You know, that we saw a bunch of memes. It got spoiled. Just looks
Spy
cringy
Kids.
as fuck.
Spy Kids.
Right, what is it? George Lopez.
George Lopez's big head.
Yeah, so obviously, I think sometimes that looked better than what we got. And I immediately saw MCU, dick writers, defending it. I'm like, no, man. It's supposed to look ridiculous. It's supposed to be a giant head, and it's like there are so many ways that they could have done the actual face CGI to make it even better. The video, Square Enix's Marvel Avengers looks better. There's
more
comic book versions that look better. Like, yeah, maybe monsterify his face a little bit. There's lots of different textures that you could have applied there, but every time he takes his faceplate up because he's got some armor, and I'm like, just leave the fucking armor on.
Yeah, that looked better.
He puts it up, and he's constantly, hey, bro,
remember
dude,
me? It's
bro,
me, Dale.
It's Darren Dale. Yeah. It is played for a fucking joke. It's like, what are we doing with the tone here? Why would Kang even keep this guy around? And so it turns out to be Yellow Jacket. So it's not even Modoc from the comics where it's like, oh, he's an experiment by AIM, and they fucked him up so bad, and they try to, mature his story. He's like, I'm gonna fucking take this whole place over, and I'm gonna be the head honcho. No, he's Yellow Jacket, because remember, he got crushed and his body went a little bit, and so that's why I think that's how they were explaining his fucking
basically
head.
redo it. They pick him up, and then you see his
little
little
booty.
butt. We're like, what are we doing?
All this goop,
Yes.
booty, and baby head. Oh my god.
Yeah, I was like, oh god.
Oh
Well,
my
visually
God.
he's a joke, but like in the movie he's a joke too. He gets beaten by a
Right.
child like the third
Yes.
time. She doesn't
I
even know how
turned
to.
to Joe. I'm like, "What, Joe? What the fuck?" Like the film just established
He's
that
the
she
best
does not know
hunter.
how to fight.
He's
She
the best
doesn't even know
hunter.
how to do the basic punch that Ant-Man does, because she's learning that throughout the film. And Modoc is the perfect killing machine that has killed thousands of rebel veterans in the army, and she goes up against him.
Yes.
Like, immediately, she charges him.
Beats his
I'm
ass.
like, and beats his ass, or at least dodges all of his fucking attacks, and beats his ass.
And
So
gives
yeah,
him, good
that-
morals. Don't be a dick. I'm
Okay,
Daryl.
and that was so fucking cheesy, cringy, stupid. That's like that
Yes.
formulaic MCU stuff that is unearned. It's like the daughter's like, just don't be a dick, Daryl, and Daryl's like, don't be a dick. Oh, I never thought of that before. One film where I was Yellow Jacket. I wish somebody would have just told me not to be a dick.
Yeah.
I'd be like, bitch, be a dick. Your dad motherfucking crushed my goddamn body on my baby head. What the hell? I haven't been trapped in this fucking universe for 20 years. Fuck you. I'm fuck you and your whole family. I'm gonna kill all of y'all. But no, it's, oh, don't be a dick. Never thought of that. Just, you fucking, you think your audience are filled with fucking morons and just you
had
you
such a change of heart. in those
Listen, I know
5
Modoc is a
seconds.
throwaway character. Don't even try to fucking justify that either. Who cares if Modoc's like, bro, it could have been cool. It could have been used, but okay, so we go for a joke. So it's not really Modoc, and I guess he dies, but they could say at the end, I kept looking at his life meter, why there's even a little fucking life meter on the front of him. So you know when you kick his ass, you can stop, and then kick his ass some more once he recovers. But I did see red, and
Yeah.
you could see maybe flatline, but they could say he can come back if they want, and Daryl be good again. There's only a body count of 2. I guess it's Daryl, who I don't think is actually dead. And then fucking Jarhead guy dies, and nobody gives a shit. There's no stakes in this film. Like, nobody dies.
You don't care.
You don't care about nothing. Kang the Conqueror, fucking Thanos is over here killing in the end. Like, all the Avengers kicking all of their ass simultaneously. Kang can't even fucking beat up Scott Lang's daughter, or Ant-Man. And he's got an incompetent Modoc following him around, and he manages to kill the Jarhead dude, and then nobody cares about him, and then everybody moves on. I'm like, man, I like that guy better than I just liked him. Anyways, yeah, so that was Modoc. What else? spoilers, go into spoilers. Take it over.
Modoc
is absolutely ridiculous and a waste, but it was very comic book.
Yeah, and for me, Kang's powers are super inconsistent because at one time he's like super powerful, then he gets attacked by.
Why is he super powerful, Joe Sean? What was the part where he was super powerful?
The flashbacks that you see, he's destroying worlds, he's destroying everybody,
told us he
phasing
could
everyone
destroy
out, and then
everybody.
just like bringing people around, just flipping them around, doing all this crazy stuff, and then
Just
the
by
ants,
moving his finger, he can control you, right?
Then a swarm of ants comes, like, oh, I'm gone.
Well, hold on. It was just the rebels first, and he was going. Pfft. That trailer shot, looked cool, right? But he doesn't keep the beams up. Like, if you just keep the beams up, then you would have won. But instead, he switches from the beams, and he goes, boo, 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 and then a beam here and a beam here. No, just go, boo. I guess he can't keep it up. He can't keep the beams up. And that's what I wanted to say. The bigger threat is the amount of super smart, advanced ants multiplying in the quantum universe by factors of infinity, never-ending, super smart ants. And once they decide that they want to take over, I mean, even the ecosystem in the quantumverse is fucked if these ants keep going. Even the rebels that we saved the day, everybody's celebrating. Those motherfuckers are dead.
Ant food.
If those ants decide, like, that's the bigger threat than Kang, because Kang got his ass kicked by those ants, and all the other Kangs that they show in the fucking, after credit scenes, we'll get to, they'll get their asses kicked by the ants. So, the ants. That's what it's really about.
I like the ants.
I liked it too, but still.
The ants were like on brand for how stupid and enjoyable and like not serious that the Ant-Man movies have been. The problem is that this had to be the movie to get people excited about the next phase. You have to get people excited about the big bads. And you cannot watch this movie and be like, I'm excited to see Kang. No, you're not. No. The most powerful Kang got his ass beat by like 7 ants. There wasn't even that many of them.
Alex, there were 50 ants on him.
I know
you're exaggerating, but you're right. He got beat up by ants.
There's a tiny little orb around him.
Super smart advanced ants!
Yeah, but there was not 50 of them.
Yes, there were.
There's an ant
There
with
were
a helmet.
definitely more than 50 of them, Alex.
Not
and
touching
plus
his
around
orb.
his bubble, there were at least 10, 12 on his fucking bubble. We
Yeah.
can go and count the CGI.
Yeah, you count them.
No, you count them because you're saying that there were 7 that beat him up. That's not what happened.
Well,
anyway, so let's just jump right into it since we're talking about Kang and getting his ass beat.
He's useless. Don't watch Phase 5. Just ignore the whole Phase 5.
Alex, what happens in the final credits?
Before that,
Joe, what
too, he
happens?
has his bubble trying to protect himself, and then we get this stupid thing with Modoc, who's like, I am not a
I
dick!
completely forgot about
and
that.
explodes his bubble.
Yeah, but the ants were getting in
So
anyway.
Modoc
weakens
comes
it.
back at the last minute. And he's like in mid-sentence. Did Kang scream at him, Modoc?
No, he just says Modoc was coming. He's
That's
like,
what I
I'm
was
not
saying.
a dick.
Right. He goes, my name is Darren. And, he actually just does that out of nowhere. He didn't say, he said Modoc. And he goes, my name is Darren. No, it's just, my name is Darren.
And I'm not a dick.
And I'm not a dick.
Change the heart 5 seconds ago.
Right.
Yeah.
That's...
Again.
Kang gets beat by a fucking joke.
Yes.
By a CGI joke.
Yeah.
5 out of 10.
This is like, no.
Alex
don't
is
do that.
right.
So,
all right. And, okay, so then, I guess I just expected, the setup of Kang. Right?
Yeah, me too. It's like he's a great actor.
I guess I should have adjusted my expectations for silly, goofy Saturday morning cartoon.
But you shouldn't.
All right. Anyways, so the after credit scene, we see more Kangs. I know this is straight out of the comics, but these guys look fucking ridiculous. If these are our main villains, you have a King Tut Kang, you have a ball-headed, squeaky voice Kang, and you have a Mortal Kombat Kang. What was the other one? There's a third one. And this shit is embarrassing. Like, I feel sorry for Jonathan Majors. And then he's like, hey, doing a voice on one of them. It's like, yes, I get it. Your range is amazing. You can play 50 billion characters, but this is stretching it. When your main villains are even more ridiculous looking or on the ridiculous level of Modoc. And I'm talking about Ant-Man Modoc, Quantum Modoc. It's not boding well. And then they're like, call them all, or call them, and then I called them all. And then every single Kang we see is a motherfucking frothing at the mouth lunatic. And there's like no interesting ones. I'm like trying to look for an interesting one, but I can't really find one. And then that was it. And so I was like, oh my God. And the audience laughed. I'm like, I'm not really sure you're supposed to be laughing at that moment. And then the credits roll, and we have to wait all the way to the end of the credits to get our second credit scene, which is a literal Disney Plus advertisement for Loki season 2. We see Loki, and we see Jet Ski Guy, and they're sitting in an old-timey-wimey 20s Tesla-looking thing, I guess, and I guess his name is Victor something. And he's a variant of Kang, and apparently he's the most dangerous. Or he's like, that guy doesn't look dangerous, and he's like, oh, but he is. And then like this guy kind of looks at him. He's like, oh, he noticed this while he was talking.
It'll be fun. Ant-Man beat his ass.
I'm like, really? I'm like, that's how the most dangerous Kang looking. That's gonna be off. Well, I'm not looking really forward to that. I'm not really looking forward to the screaming, frothing, 500 Kangs. I'm not looking forward to the King Tut Kang.
There was one that kind of looked like the comic book one, right? Like a blue, like in the front, like blue one with the
crusty
makeup.
face.
Yeah,
There's like a scroll looking one. Almost.
Yeah. I saw that one.
I don't know.
I was trying to look for other ones.
Just pretty funny and embarrassing. Like I said, a few cheesy jokes, some father and daughter moments. Scott Lang is like constantly. I like his book. He wrote a book, and he's telling the story about how badass he is. He saved the world, and all that stuff is funny. And people don't really know him. They like call him Spider-Man and shit. He's like, not Spider-Man, and the guy by the end, the guy learns his name. You're the bug one.
Man.
The bug one. Give me $15 because you had free drinks when he was Spider-Man, but now when he's the bug guy, you got to.
Spider-Man's broke all the time, so you got to give Spider-Man free food because inexplicably he's broke all the time.
Student.
In our theater, I don't know if it was an Alamo Draft House thing. We had an appearance from the manager that fired him from the Baskin Robbins, and he's like explaining how he's reviewing the film. It's Ant-Man and Dale. Oh, I think that's where the Dale name came from.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and Dale in Quantumania, and just how awesome it is, and all the twists and turns with him and his character. And he does appear in the film just twice. He makes him a cake after he wins, and so.
Explains it without him. There would be no Ant-Man.
There would be no Ant-Man. That was a funny little intro. I don't know if that's going to be shown in all theaters. But
I did like that little callback, though, whenever he went into the core, and then he starts multiplying, then we get the Baskin Robbins
guy. Yeah,
yeah,
so
that's pretty fun.
I'm like, what does Kang need with Ant-Man? Because he obviously can't just kill all these people immediately and invade. Well, he can't because his little fucking chair. They changed his chair into a ball. It's a golden ball, and it can go between multiverses. So they're introducing obviously. Well, that's already been introduced, but you know what I mean. He can travel the multiverses. But his power source has been fucked up, and he was exiled to the quantum verse by the other Kangs. And so it turns out we got to talk. I wish I would have said this in the main review. Michelle Pfeiffer's character, Janet, is quite possibly the biggest fucking asshole and a shitty fucking hero ever, because she never fucking mentions Kang. And this is apparently a galactic multiverse level threat that she just says, yeah, no, I'm not going to tell anybody about it.
She's like, I trapped him.
The Avengers can go over there and beat him up or secure this area. But because her selfish dumbass can't talk with her family and be a fucking functioning person, she fucks everything up and gets hundreds of thousands of rebels killed and our entire universe potentially invaded by Kang. But yeah. So
she's also the smartest person ever in the history of forever, because the Kangs exile Kang with no way to repair his little core, but she figures it out for him.
Correct. His ball runs out of it. I don't even know how they were trying to.
They sabotaged his ball and then sent him to this planet going, you're going to die here because you don't have your ball. And he meets her. And she fixes
his ball with goo.
And then they establish that Kang is centuries ahead of anything you can possibly imagine, which is what Kang can do. And so all he needed.
Really cool when you think about it. Like, but you have to show that on screen in some way. But continue.
Yeah, but Michelle Pfeiffer just goes, I'm going to pour some goo on this thing. And over the course of a couple of years, they fixed the ball. And that's all they needed to do is.
And then she touches the unit, which then gives her, because his tech is so advanced, it actually is a link to his memories and his mind, and she touches it, which gets her link, and she realizes he's a horrible fucking monster, and that's when we see like scenes of him just like blowing up entire universes, and we're like, but wait a minute, why? If he can do that, why didn't he use some of that power in the main battle? But okay, so she's like, no, fuck this, and she puts the Pym particles things and helps do something to it, like. I was like, she's going to make it really small, or she'll make it really big.
Yeah.
I don't know if it did either of those. I have no idea what it did to it. Alex, what is it?
She made it big.
She blew it up and made it huge.
Right, but
so you got.
But it doesn't look huge. It looks also broken and everything. So, and then it's also frozen in that position. I'm confused. If it was just huge, then it would just be a huge version of it, like
that's
a big
what I thought
fucking
too.
thing.
But I was like, no, I guess.
But it's something wrong with it.
I thought it was supposed to be like a big orb, but it didn't look like a big orb.
I didn't understand it.
It was just an artistic choice because the second they shrink it, it comes back to a perfect little orb again.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So the thing that she slaps on there is not a giant Gantor or a smaller Gantor. It's a plot. It's a MacGuffinizer. And because Kang apparently cannot do it himself. He apparently is so advanced and so smart, he cannot go in there
and
shrink it.
Even though he developed that own technology himself.
Right. He doesn't know how to do the Pym particles or the MacGuffinizer, right? Because it is that's why he can't do it, because it's a literal MacGuffinizer. It got MacGuffinized.
Yeah.
And it needs to be de-MacGuffinized, and he can't do the MacGuffinized.
But he also can't make a new one because he originally made the original one.
He did make the original one.
And so why couldn't he just make a new one?
And it's just bigger, so...
Because you can't find the...
Or maybe he didn't make the original one. I don't
He did make the original. Because that's
original.
all the Kangs make the original. That's how Kangs touch Kangs.
So... Yeah, so Scott. So then Scott
comes in.
They have
the proper materials of the quantum.
They really play up the fact that Scott, from the previous movies, is the greatest thief. I mean, he can fucking go and get you what you want to go and get. So he makes him go and get. Now he doesn't want to do it, but he fucks with his daughter and he's like throwing her in the fucking prison thing and threatening her. And I believe this motherfucker will kill his daughter. So that's because he's a good actor and good threat.
Well, the threat was fucking crazy. He's like,
I was still on board at this point in the film. Like I was enjoying it. It's just it falls apart there really.
Yeah, because he did great acting. He's like, I want to kill your daughter and then make you relive that moment time after time after time until you beg for your death. I'm like, damn,
fuck,
this
man. And
I believed him. Crazy.
And I believed him too.
Yeah,
but it didn't make sense because you can actually forward and do time powers right there. Why don't you ever show the time powers? That was never shown.
It was a VHS tape. No. It's a VHS tape. Like you're going into time stone stuff. He was going to record it with a camcorder, and he's going to be like, and they have that little red card, and they rewind it, and then they go like,
wait, if you can do that, then his powers.
He's like, wait a minute, I thought you were going to use powers. I just said you were going to watch it over and over.
You got me.
But you're always talking about time. So, anyways, yeah. So he goes in and does it, and it's a fun sequence because he multiplies, and they're all arguing with each other. It's like, you're gonna lose your mind in here, and Evangeline Lilly, what's her actress's name? Hope, yes, Hope. Who I was like, are they gonna bring her back? Because she's like real like anti-vaxxer and stuff, and they got rid of obviously Marvel is owned by Disney, so I thought that. If Gina's fucking knocked out and then they unapologetically not going to bring her back, even though she didn't do all that much, well, she did actually put some stupid-ass tweets out there. But, I mean, this actress is doing probably more than that. And, you're welcome back, So I guess I didn't even think she was going to be, but she's in the film. She's a central part of it. Actually, I don't know if she's a central part of it. She really doesn't get to do much. She gets to show up and save the day like 2 or 3 times in a row. And it just feels like it's like, all right, oh fuck, we got to get Wasp to do something. Wasp can do the rest of it. Scott is doing it, and then he can't do it quite as much. Here comes the Wasp, and they repeat that like 3 times, and I'm like, ugh, okay. So as Scott is in here, he's doing the arguing with himself, duplicating and trying to, get up there to throw one of those particles at it, and he can't quite make it until Hope shows up, and she is also multiplying 1,000, and so then but then they stop because they're all single-minded and they have one objective and one goal, so all of them come together.
Yes.
And then they throw it, and then it works. It didn't work before. The first one he threw somehow phased out and didn't work.
Got burned.
We don't again unexplained. Like none of it's so. We're in like pure MacGuffin territory, pure plot-driven, nonsensical stuff, and then they throw 3 or 4 multicolored ones at him, and I guess those work because there were some red ones and some yellow ones.
It's a magical number.
Yeah,
because it was the number that they had.
Isn't it? What is it, like probability or something? So it throws maybe
possibility.
Possibilities. So there you go. One of them might work. I don't know.
And one of them did.
I don't know.
This is what we're talking about. This is where it kind of falls apart. So then, the ball comes down, and then Kang shows up and kind of whoops her ass to take it because he wasn't going to take it. Take it. And,
yeah, he lets them live because.
That's what you're supposed to do. You're a bad guy.
Yeah, you're a bad guy. So you let him live, even though he's murdered trillions already.
Crappy bad guy.
He's just like, I'm going to teleport back to my base, and you better not come follow me. I'm going to leave you out here to die. And they're like, well, you've seen that we can fly. So
but the thing is, too, like, he's like, you left me here to die, but you survived. But I'm going to leave them here to die. I was like, well, you survived. They're going to survive, too.
They're going to survive, too.
Why, What are you doing?
He also shows when she shows up and says, don't give him the orb. Janet, is it Janet?
Janet.
Yeah, she shows up and says, Scott, don't give him the orb. And then Kang comes from her, don't trust her. She lied to me. And it's like, bro, you're like lied to everybody. You're about to lie to everybody, too. It's like,
You just lied to Scott.
But he had the power button where he just goes, he sucks his own ball. And,
yeah.
He did. He sucked his own balls.
Yeah.
Ball. Sorry.
Yeah.
And beat everybody up. And he then does the evil villain speech, which we gotta make room for another joke. We're doing an evil villain speech to invade the thing, but I'm like, oh, somebody please interrupt this. So I wanted them to interrupt, and his daughter interrupts because she's letting out the rebel leader, and she's learning how to use her powers. And
Which I don't know any of them.
Apparently, these super secure cells, all you need to do is like just smack it real hard or press some buttons. There's no codes or security or anything.
She's like pretending to press buttons.
He is the most smart and genius level, and apparently you just press open, and all of the rebels come out of their secure open or closed cages. So then they fight. They do battle. The little, I don't know, they're not really robots. So that's another thing. Again, what the fuck are these people in Quantum?
They can't be robots.
They're humans. Bill Murray's like, y'all are humans, and they're like, yeah, but aren't you a human? He's like, yeah.
He's like, I got a wiener because I put it in your wife. But I'm not really a human, and that's what he said.
Yeah, that whole part was weird.
It was.
Bill Murray
I
comes
was lonely.
in just
I was here for 30 years. Like I was lonely. I got needs.
What the fuck? I'm your husband. Why didn't you at least let me know what the fuck happened? And he just lets it go. Like that's never spoken.
Well, he had sex with Linda twice.
And then he was like, no, I had sex with Linda. I don't know who Linda was, but probably a comic book character that.
I guess they just.
I wonder if he beat her ass too.
To like even it out.
Hank Pym is not a good man.
He likes to drink.
Not a good man.
He likes to drink
in the comics.
Yeah.
In the film.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. No, in the comics.
Okay. I don't know that particular Hank Pym. He used to beat up on women, apparently. So he cheated on her, and she cheated on him, or
so
whatever.
So we're even.
Yeah, we're even. I guess that's what justified it.
He did it twice. I mean, she's 30 years. I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
I mean, that's Michelle Pfeiffer. But okay. So anyway, so then the Bill Murray brags to his face that he's fucking her, and he's like saying, "Oh, you're a crappy Ant-Man." He's always kind of like disparaging him, and it turns out that the ants saved the day. Also, Kang was like, "You're you're not even in my league. And then he's in his league.
He gets overrun.
He's actually above his league.
Yeah.
With some help, with the wasp.
With the ants. With the ants.
At the end, she's shooting.
Hank is actually out of Kang's league. No, he's right. But the ants.
Oh, yeah.
Kang was like, damn, you guys are out of my league.
Yeah. You got one really big ant, and you got some flying ants.
Yeah, big ants, flying
helmets.
ants, little ants. I don't fuck with them, all right? They live down the road
Shit,
over
they
there.
scared me in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
So Bill's like, Bill Murray's character is like, the ants, do we even have those down here? Technically, they don't have ants. It was right before his daughter turns on this machine that starts the whole plot. They showed off that they have super smart ants in an ant farm, and that falls into the thing. And so then these ants just so happen. Do you realize how massive the fucking quantum verse is?
No, it's very small.
But apparently,
no, it's small. It's a quantum verse.
Yes,
it's very small.
But inside the smallness is a vast universe of multiple planets and creatures and everything. And apparently, the ant farm fell, and then I guess just
Pretty
randomly Hank Pym was able.
It's easy to find. Ants have antennas for a reason.
Yeah, and now you're just being funny. And so then apparently, though, when they fell in a different area that made them go through this explanation. I was like, they went through 10,000 years of evolution in addition to the smartness that they already had. So they were building cities, and they had the pyramids, and they had the technology and robots.
It's like, what are we doing? I was like, this is the same place they fell from? It's like, well, it was just like a little bit to the right. And then, a little bit to the right.
And never at any point do we talk about how Hank, the daughter, Janet, none of those people, because it was mentioned once. It's like, oh, time is different. It may be different down here. It could have been 10 minutes or it could have been 10 years. Never mentioned again. The ants had 10,000 years of evolution, but we, I guess, and then when they go back into Earth, it's like abandoned and everybody's dead. They pull a
well, they just
army
introduced the ants, an invasive species, to the quantum realm, which now they are fought.
That's what I'm saying. The real threat are those motherfucking ants.
In 10,000 years, they probably would have learned agriculture, right? Maybe they're farming their own thing. Ants already do that with aphids. So
and in Phase 6, Joe, like when they take care of Kang, Phase 6. All these ants just come from the fucking planet, and then we're fucked.
If it's the ants, if the ants and spiders, like there's no chance at all. Like we're done. We're just
I'm not dealing with both.
Yeah. What else? What else can we throw in here? So we covered the Bill Murray, covered the Modoc, Majors, the ridiculousness of that. The signal, the fact that Michelle Pfeiffer's character kept all that shit to herself, she bitched and fucking ruined everything. But it doesn't matter because by the end of the film they defeat Kang. So she's not she didn't fuck everything up for everybody.
Well, but this Kang dying starts the whole Kang-verse. Because the only reason that all the other Kangs are going to go out and be violent, even more violent, is because this Kang died.
Why?
Because the three guys said at the end, it's like, look, they killed the most powerful Kang. We need to go stop them. And I called all the Kangs here. That's what the mid-roll said.
This was the most powerful Kang?
Yeah, King the Conqueror is the most powerful Kang.
But this was Kang the Conqueror?
Yeah.
No. I was thinking that this was Kang the Conqueror. Kang the Conqueror.
This was Kang the Conqueror.
The Conqueror. This wasn't Kang the Conqueror.
That was Kang Conqueror. The other one was Kang Tut. There was Cyborg Kang, and then there was, you
said that earlier, and it didn't really quite sink in. It's like, wait, so we defeated the Thanos.
Kang the Conqueror is
dead. And so now these people coming are weaker Kangs.
Weaker Kang. Danky Kang.
Because he said, killing me,
I was assuming there might be
a
hidden Kang and all those Kangs that are even worse than this Kang.
No.
That's what I thought the comics were all about. You killed the one Kang, and then you're going to have another Kang who's even worse than that Kang. So apparently, they're supposed to be, every single one of these Kangs are worse than that Kang, is the assumption I was operating under. But it's more like he was the best Kang, so he needed to be exiled, and, he's dead. Well, nobody's there to stop us. All of us weaker Kangs are going to beat you up.
Yeah, there's two really powerful Kangs. One died in Loki, and that was the second most powerful Kang. And then this one is Kang the Conqueror, like the real most. So it's like the.
But I thought that one that died in Loki was the one that was gonna start. It was like, oh shit, we shouldn't have killed that Kang because these other Kangs are coming.
Yeah, he was the one like protecting the whole multiverse from all of the Kangs. And
right,
so,
but we did kind of the same thing here.
oh yeah, they're retreading the same thing.
Oh no, why? And Scott even does so at the end of the film. Scott goes back into that singing dance song, and it's great. Everything's fine. Everybody loves him, and then it goes.
It's like, wait.
But what if I fucked up and that was the only Kang preventing the other Kangs? Oh, but it'll be fine. It's a little jarring and weird, Sam Raimi, So wait, we just did this. We did that already. We did that in Loki.
Yeah, this is a problem with all multiverse anything is the stakes are fucking weird. Either it's the biggest stakes that can possibly happen where all multiverses die, or the stakes mean nothing because you kill one of an infinite number of Kangs, and who gives a fuck? And so, like,
it's not fun.
So multiverse stuff is kind of
That's
rough.
why it's like Thanos. Like, he's the big bad. Let's focus our energy on Thanos, and he's fucking awesome, and you can put plenty of time behind him because he's just one, right? Elsewhere, numerous Kang conglomerate over the death of their own and plan their multiversal uprising. In a post-credit scene, Loki and Mobius spot another Kang variant named Victor Timely in the 1920s. Oh, I got that time right. Scott happily resumes his life, but begins to think what Kang told him about his death being the start of something terrible happening. Mm-hmm. All right, I guess we're gonna have fucking Captain Marvel punching fucking King Tut Fang Kang in the face while. Give me another one.
There was Cyborg Kang.
Give me another hero.
The scroll looking one.
While American Chavez kicks the Mortal Kombat one in the dick because he's got a balls because he's a dude, and then I don't know. Unfortunately, I'm not excited about Kang. I am excited. I like the actor.
Yes.
And I think
they could have done so much more with it, but they
yeah.
felt like they dropped the ball on this one.
And I do like that. I do see his acting chops, so I can see how he can play so many different Kangs. The problem is, I'm not interested in all the different Kangs. Yeah.
It doesn't. There's no reward when you kill one if there's an infinite number, like truly infinite number of replacement Kangs.
But that's what makes it more of a threat than Thanos. You see what I'm saying?
Again, it's more of a threat, but it's still less satisfying. It's not something that I want to watch. It's like I get that it's the heat death of the universe is a bigger threat. It's like I don't want to watch that movie. I want to watch Big Purple Man who punches the Hulk. Like that. That's the thing that's more satisfying to watch.
Punch the Hulk.
Yeah, it's
better than
unless it's like Jet Li the one. You're gonna go kill all the ones. Be the best.
Yeah. You are. I am no one's bitch. You are all my bitch.
I brought them all here. Now die, and now I'm powerful.
Joe. Yeah. We got to stop bringing up that movie. You know how old that movie is now?
How can we relate to Ghost of Mars, too?
Now
we
have
both
see,
of them, yeah.
The one with Jet Li. You are on my bitch!
First introduction of multiverse there.
But why'd they exile him if he was one of...
Because he was trying to stop their plans.
He was just a dick.
So his thing was, I started killing all of the other Kangs because all of the other Kangs were becoming self-aware and doing multiverses shit that was going to destroy the whole universe.
Okay.
So I, as Kang the Conqueror, have to kill all of the other
I thought he was like,
Kangs.
I am going to destroy different universes that I deem are dangerous to me. And those include Kangs, so I'm killing them and everybody.
Yeah, because Janet they were talking about it. It's like
they exiled him.
She's like, well, who made the mistake? He's like, well, I did a mistake, and now I need to fix it.
Yeah, and he's like, all the Kangs are playing with the multiverse like children, and he's like, he was just going to cull all the children.
There you go. Yeah. All right, well, that's what we have to look forward to. What do you guys think of this one? And, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Mm-hmm. Thank you all so much for watching. Maybe grab a shirt, support the show. We got some brand new shirts, guys. And thank you, and we'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.